Okay. What's your date of birth?
012191.
Okay. And let me just make sure that I've got some choices. All right. So I'm going to go back over this. You can tell me whether I got it right, just to make sure that I got all these details.
Yep.
All right. So you pull a Kwik trip. You're followed by a black Honda Accord.
Yes.
You park, and before you get out of the vehicle, the passenger from the black Honda Accord gets out and walks across the front of your car. Looks at you.
I'm sorry. Not in front. Not in, across the front. Like to the right of the vehicle towards. I'm sorry. They parked to the right of me, and I can see him in the door to Kwik Trip from my window. So I don't know if you can imagine that you park in a parking spot that somebody else parks to your right.
Yeah.
And you can see them as they walk towards the door.
Yeah.
So that's how it was.
Okay. So then you looked over at him. He looked over at you. He mouthed, "Be gay," or what was the other?
You're still gay, as he walked through the door.
Be gay, or you're still gay. Goes into the door. You say, "Go fuck yourself," outside your driver window. He wasn't sure if he heard anything. Turns towards the driver. The driver said, "Did he say something to you?" And whatever, they go inside. You get out of the car to go withdraw your money. You go up to as you're walking in, you see the driver. Driver's looking at you. He says, "You got a problem?" You raise your hands, "No problem." You go into the store. You check out your money. While you're checking out your money, the driver comes in, goes up to the passenger, says something to him. He walks out. As the passenger's walking out, he lowers his mask again and licks his lips at you.
The passenger, right?
Yeah, the passenger, as he's leaving, licks his lips at you.
Yes.
You say, "Don't lick your lips at me." You get into a verbal altercation. He says to come outside. You go outside. You try to record. By that time, they had already gotten into the car, or when did this break off? Upper that area, that section again for me.
Yeah. So I go outside. I pull my camera out of my pocket, and these dudes. The passenger was walking around the corner of the car, and standing outside the vehicle, talking to me. And I was telling the driver, that the dude just went inside the store and licked his lips at me. And the driver said that's not possible. That he didn't do that. He had a mask on. And I said, not while he was in the store. He took his mask off and he licked his upper lips. And the driver didn't say anything. The passenger started talking to me. Started saying, you wouldn't be, basically he's trying to say I wouldn't be upset if I wasn't gay. Like, if I wasn't gay, I wouldn't be mad that this guy licked his lips at me or said anything to me or did anything to me. He said, you strung out about it, so you must be gay. And I said, okay. No, I'm not gay, and don't lick your lips at me. And I know that the reason you're here was to do that and to tell me I was gay. That's why you drove all the way over here, to follow me here, lick your lips, tell me I'm gay, and drive off. Or to hurt me.
How long did you notice the vehicle behind you as you were coming up to this?
Right. They appeared right as I drove into... Well, I only noticed when I drove into the parking lot that there was a black Honda Accord behind me.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live like 5 blocks away from the Kwik Trip.
Okay. In Middleton, correct?
No, on the other side of Middleton, like in Madison. So like,
okay.
Right on University Avenue, past the church, past that, and by the other Kwik Trip, down the road.
All right. So you drove down there. You noticed them behind you just as you were doing it.
Yes.
To the parking lot. They come out. Excuse me. They come out and all of this happens. after they gave you the statement that you wouldn't be upset if you were gay, they get into the car to leave, or you got into your car to leave?
They started driving away. The passenger finally got in his car, but the whole time he was yelling, "You're gay, such a bitch ass, you're a bitch, or you're a fag," like just yelling out the worst things that makes you mad, like the worst type of names you could call somebody to piss them off, and that's
Okay.
And like you're a bitch, you're a fag, you're gay. Well, basically you're gay all the time. You're gay out loud, and I recorded that, so I'm gonna that's when my camera was recording. So it wasn't until the passenger got in the car that I could get my camera to work. And I started recording both passengers, what they said and what I said back to them. And yeah, so yeah, that's what they were saying. They were just yelling out loud. But my point is, that's the only reason why they showed up, to do that, was to do that and to scare me.
Okay. But you don't... All right, hold on. My computer's freaking out. But you don't know them from before. You don't know where they came from.
No.
All right. You got there. Everything comes unfolds. They're driving away, and as you're driving away, you see them behind you.
Yes.
And they follow you until you go and you park somewhere else, and then they keep going.
Yes. And then when they drove off, I kept recording for about 20 seconds, and I started to drive off.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I seen them again as I was headed home, but this time they were driving in front of me. Like, they turned off another street, and they ended up in front of me.
Okay.
So, like, it's like they were prepared. Like, they knew I was coming. You know what I mean? Like, I was on my way, headed in that direction.
Okay. All right. So then I'm going to ask this. What do you want done at this point? Because we don't know who they are. We can't pursue anything without knowing who they are. We can't go and charge anybody with it. I can put this on record as, hey, this was reported that this individual believes that these people are harassing him.
No, they did. They did. I have a recording of the harassment. That's exactly what they did.
Okay, so I can put that in?
Yeah, sexually harassing this man.
Okay, and we can have a record of it, but as of right now, because we don't know who they are, we don't know where they live, we don't know anything about them, we can't charge anybody with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so what do you want to do right now?
I've been telling police officers for the longest time that people have been sexually harassing me throughout this town and calling me gay and showing up and intimidating me, threatening me, using weapons. It should be or with violence, threatening me with violence for like the last 3.5 years. And you guys keep telling me we can't catch these people. We're sorry. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they're from. We can't catch them. I got a recording. I'm pretty sure I could probably find out who this person is. Well, I don't know. I'm going to look at the recording when I get home and see if I can get a car plates or something. But this is a problem. And I am scared. Well, not scared, but I want it to stop. I want people to stop showing up wherever I go and doing this form of and harassing the crap out of me or doing this stuff to me.
Okay.
And I've been calling you guys. I mean, I've dialed 911 in the last 4 years, like at least 200-300 times to report these things to you guys.
Okay. So you said 2-3 years. What happened in that time that led to all of this starting?
Nothing. This is from I guess this is a seat like I don't know. I got out of I don't know. It's like the beginning of this was casual. It was like the casual interference from somebody I never knew, like some gesture or some, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's like the unnoticeable things that just slowly get noticeable. You know what I mean? Like over time, like a small problem turns into a larger problem as time goes on. a leak, a water leak. So it's small at first, but if you don't catch it, it gets larger. And that's basically what I've been dealing with the harassment I face in the community. So when I first first noticed this 4.5 years ago, it was like something you wouldn't dial 911 for, something you didn't care about. But over the last 2 to 3 years, when people have done something like this, I've called the police. I've called and tried.
It's been called up. And it's going to be getting removed on Monday. So.
I don't know if anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Hey, sorry. Give me a second.
Yep. No problem.
Sorry, man.
No.
Right. Yeah, no, I guess it's something that keeps building up, and it's getting out of hand, and nobody's supposed to live with that kind of harassment or anything like that. So, you said you have the video, right?
Yes.
Are you able to mail it or forward it to anybody?
Yeah. When I take a look at it, when I get home, I will do that.
Okay. I'm going to give you my email right now.
All right.
Do you have something to write down with?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead and tell me.
Okay. So it's N as in Nancy, M as in Mike, A as in Adam, A as in Adam, D as in dog, Y as in young, at the city of Middleton .us. So city of Middleton is all one word.
Okay. Dot what?
US.
US.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. What other agencies have you contacted so I can try to figure out how to link this all together?
I've called the Madison Police Department. I've called the Lacrosse Police Department. I've called the UW Madison Police Department. I've called the what else? Who else have I called? Madison, UW, UW Madison, City of Madison. You guys a few times. I don't know if I've any of the police departments in this area. So the city Madison area. I've probably at some point had to have called you guys for the last 4 years about this harassment and threats and being not followed directly because it's not followed. But like people showing up places where I go just to cause an altercation and to see what happens, or to use a disguised threats. I don't know how to word this, but you probably do. As a police officer, you could translate or understand what I'm saying. But this is what's been happening. But yeah, if you want to contact the City of Madison Police Department, the City of UW Madison Police Department. I used to live downtown. And I used to have to call them about things. I've called the City of Madison several times, more times than more, like I told you, like 200 to 300 times in the last 4 years. And that's more than any person in this city is supposed to call police officers in their lifetime. And I've been reporting this harassment for the entire time.
Is it the same people, or is it just different people all the time?
It's a different people from the same community.
Okay. So does the same community know each other and know you?
Yeah, it's just like gossip. It's like your social network. It's like a group of friends. All your friends on Facebook know something about somebody, right? So let's say 500 kids go to the same school. They all know one kid at that school. They know stories about that one person. So imagine that city, a city full of that 500 kids who know something about you. And if they see you or know where you're going, they'll show up or do something to you while they're there or after you get there.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a community of people who are terrorizing me as I'm living in the community.
Has anybody ever acted upon the threats of violence towards you?
Yes.
Or...
and when I was in Lacrosse, I was punched a couple times in the face. and the police department never pressed charges on the people who did that to me. I mean, it should be involuntary charges, like where if somebody assaults you, they automatically should be charged. The police department, on both occasions, were aware of this. While I've been in Madison, it's mostly been non-physical terror, like threats, verbal threats, and sexual harassment, bending over, licking their lips, and then waiting to see if I get angry and do something in response. Like standing still, like standing very still and waiting to see if I do something to them in response to that.
Okay. Just to cover my base, I'm going to say this one question that's going to be, or a couple questions that are going to be really pretty much just dumb when you hear them. But do you ever give anybody consent to make these statements? Like these guys today, did you ever give them consent to do these acts or make these statements towards you?
No.
Okay. Have you given anybody consent to do that?
No.
All right. Did this make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Did you feel a threat to your safety?
Yes. I knew, but yes, I did. I knew at this point that they were, it was like life or death at this point. These people are serious about trying to get me to be gay, and they are threatening me like more and more as time goes on.
Okay.
Are using
Why do you think
known ways to like the terrorism that you see on the news, like what make people afraid to go out at night. Those type of scare tactics, the masks, the beat up cars, the stuff that you see that makes people afraid on the news. That's the type of fear. But yeah, what were you saying?
Why that they're trying to make you be gay?
Because these dudes, apparently some gay dudes in this city want to have sex with me, or somewhere else. That's how these kids or adults get people to want to have sex with them by intimidation, scare tactics. So they believe if they can, this community of people believe if they can scare me enough that I'll just have sex with these dudes. Because somebody either put a bounty, some dude put a bounty, some gay guy told somebody he wants to have sex with me and has been telling everybody else in his community to try to get him to be gay. And if you can, I'll have sex with him and everybody else will too. Well, every one of us will as well. So we'll just decide who gets to have sex with him after he starts acting on these sexual harassment, starts trying to have sex with us, or starts having sex with us. And that's what I believe the reason is, that these guys are trying to get me to be gay, because they want, the incentive is, well, it should be obvious, but to have sex with them. And the only way to do that is to terrorize and scare guys into doing that. And since no one's trying to help me and no one's stopping them, I don't think they feel like there's a need that there's anything they can't do. And that's the situation I just was dealing with. And at this point, I know it's a long answer, but at this point, I feel like they're it's a life or death for me, because they won't stop, and it keeps happening. And I know that these guys usually end up dressed like these guys, usually end up killing people and driving away, and nobody finds out who they are.
Okay. All right. So I've got this information. I'm going to write up a report. I'm going to give you a case number right now. So the video that you have, you could send it to me through email. If you can't, if it's too large for that, then I'll figure out a way if we can get it on like a USB so that we can get it brought over here.
Okay.
I will try to figure out what's going on. I need to double check like jurisdictions, stuff like that, but I can, any information I give, I'll give you a call back and I'll give it to you. Okay.
All right.
All right. Case number is MI22-13389.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, send me that video whenever you get the chance.
All right, we'll do.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.